Join us on this 6 miles kayak around Caldey Island on the Pembrokeshire coast on the 1st of July 2021. Watch on to learn about the rich bird life of the island, my close encounters with some of Caldey's seals, the historic Caldey Abbey, the Caldey lighthouse, and important safety information about the strong tidal currents around the island. Since I was using an inflatable kayak, I was able to get the shuttle boat from Tenby to Caldey for my circumnavigation of the island. I launched at about 11:30 am from the landing jetty at Priory Bay. Passing St Margaret's Island, I continued past the golden sands of Sandtop Bay. I paddled along the southern side of the island, encountering numerous sails. After passing by Caldey's lighthouse and then rounding Caldey Point, I kayaked along Priory Bay before landing back at the landing jetty at about 2:30 pm. As you can see, I'm on the shuttle boat that I'm catching from the South Beach in Tenby across to Caldey. It's about a 20-minute journey. We're en route to Caldey. You can see one of the other shuttle boats coming the other way there. These Tenby to Caldey shuttle boats run regularly between Easter and October. Tenby became popular in Georgian times as a bathing resort for the more affluent sections of society, and much of the colourful Georgian architecture originates from this era. Only a small tower remains of Tenby Castle, perched on top of Castle Hill, which is almost surrounded by the sea. The old town walls, however, are remarkably complete, containing a maze of narrow streets that make up the picturesque old town of Tenby. The ticket price includes the return boat fare, and you can travel and return on any boat. You can buy tickets from the kiosk at the top of Tenby Harbour. I'm looking across towards Giltar Point on the right, and then you've got St Margaret's Island in the middle and Caldey coming up on the left. You can see Caldey on the far left of this footage looking across from Tenby. Caldey is about 1.5 miles from Tenby across Caldey Sound. I've just got off the shuttle boat at the landing jetty at Priory Bay in Caldey. It certainly saved me the effort of paddling over from Tenby. Instead of getting the shuttle boat to Caldey, you can paddle across and back from Tenby, but this is about 1.5 miles extra paddling each way across the open waters of Caldey Sound, which is sometimes open to quite strong tidal currents. You can see another one of the shuttle boats has just landed at the jetty over there on the left. You can see the skyline of Tenby over there in the distance. I'm just panning around to the sands of Priory Bay, which is the only beach accessible to visitors on Caldey. It took me about 15 or 20 minutes to inflate and set up my Pro Aqua inflatable kayak next to the landing jetty, and I launched at about 11:30 am from Priory Bay. I started my maritime circumnavigation of Caldey Island by heading west from Priory Bay, so I'd be going around the island in an anti-clockwise direction. It was high tide as I paddled towards the strangely named Eel Point, the northernmost point of Caldey Island. There's a couple of oyster catchers on the rocks over there. I guess they're probably looking for oysters. As I approached St Margaret's Island, swarms of seabirds whizzed all about me, mostly fulmars, razorbills and oyster catchers, but also gulls, guillemots and other seabirds. I bottled the opportunity to also paddle around St Margaret's Island, because the surface of Little Sound, which runs between Caldey and St Margaret's Island, was already whirling about a bit due to the tidal currents. With hindsight, I'm sure that I'd have been okay also going around St Margaret's Island, which would have extended the trip by about a mile or so, but better to err on the side of caution when kayaking. This map shows Caldey Sound and Little Sound, which can at times be dangerously rough when the tide is running fast through them. I came across a large party of oyster catchers. Their shrill whistling call is a common sound on the West Wales coast. I'm paddling down the western side of Caldey Island now, past these really impressive cliffs and caves. On Sundays, Caldey Island is apparently closed and the boats don't run here, but you can still paddle around it if you don't mind paddling across and back from Tenby. I approached Sandtop Bay, a beautiful and secluded stretch of pristine golden sand facing westwards into the Atlantic Ocean. I'm just paddling past the lovely beach at Sandtop Bay as I head down the western side of Caldey Island. There's some amazing scenery on Caldey Island, red sandstone cliffs topped with green bluffs. For some reason it reminds me of Craggy Island from Father Ted. I'm just rounding West Beacon Point on the southwest corner of Caldey Island, under the watchful gaze of a group of cormorants. I paddle along the southern side of Caldey Island, which I'd never seen before, because when you look across to the island from Tenby, you only see the northern side, which faces the mainland. Caldey Island Lighthouse loomed into view on top of the cliffs. The lighthouse was built by Trinity House in 1829. I seem to have found a friend in one of the resident seals in Redberry Bay on the south side of the island. It seems to be quite friendly and is coming over for a close look at my kayak. Oh, it's gone all shy now. Just spotted another seal over there at the base of that cliff. They're strange creatures. They always seem quite intrigued or fascinated by kayaks when they see them. It's quite difficult to get them on camera sometimes because they dive so quickly. You can see the top of the lighthouse above the cliffs there. Apparently it was originally manned by a crew but then got converted into an automated one. I'm over halfway around the island now, judging by the map, as I just passed some more strange rock formations. As I was dive bombed by yet another kamikaze oyster catcher, another seal popped up out of the water ahead of me. This one was more standoffish, probably wondering why there was a nutter going past on a luminous green inflatable kayak, drinking a bottle of cider. I just spotted another seal by those rocks over there. It feels like they're starting to gang up on me a bit now. Caldey Island is certainly turning out to be a great place to see seals. If they're after my sandwiches, then they're too late because I've eaten them already. A Celtic monastery was founded on the island in the 6th century, and a Benedictine foundation existed from 1136 until the dissolution of the monasteries in 1536. An Anglican Benedictine community arrived in 1906 and built the current abbey in the Italian style. The Trappist order, who now occupy the abbey, came in 1929 from Scourmont Abbey in Belgium. As I already said, it was strange seeing the southern side of the island because you only tend to see the northern side from the mainland. It felt a bit like a trip to the dark side of the moon, and whenever I look across the Caldey from Tenby now, I look at it in a different light since my kayak around the island. On the southeast corner of the island I cut through a narrow channel at Caldey Point, struggling to paddle against a strong current that was funneling through the channel. As I came out of the other side of the channel, I surprised a seal which was about to enter the narrow channel from the other direction. The present name of Caldey is of Norse origin, being Caldey, which translates as Cold Island. The strong tidal currents that run over Caldey Sound between the mainland and the island can make the water very rough and turbulent as the water races over the shallows there. If you are paddling across Caldey Sound, then I'd suggest doing so around slack water about 1 hour either side of high tide. If you enjoyed the video, then please give us a thumbs up and consider subscribing by clicking on the left below. Click on the right below to be taken to the playlist of videos about other trips around the Wales coast. Don't forget to check out our website, which is linked below. Happy paddling from the kayak crew.